everyone, and welcome to this new podcast series. I'm your host, Cyrielle Dalmas. Today, we're exploring how artificial intelligence is reshaping the future of the iGaming industry. From personalized player experiences to smarter data-driven decision-making, AI is playing a key role in transforming the way platforms operate and engage with users. And to enlighten us, I'm joined by Abela from Neural AI, a leading voice in AI consultancy within the gaming space. Kurt, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the basics. How is AI currently used in the iGaming industry?
Yeah, so AI is everywhere, and the iGaming industry is no exception. So in iGaming, I've seen AI being used in various departments. So I've seen AI models being used for legal frameworks. So for example, you have models that can identify whether certain users are perhaps a bit more susceptible to becoming addicted, right? So responsible gaming is a big thing, especially in Malta as well. We also have AI models that can be used to predict whether someone might potentially be doing some sort of money laundering, right? So again, you have
Fraud detection.
Exactly, and it's a big thing as well. However, one of the most popular use cases are those related to marketing, right? So you have AI models that can predict churn rates, they can predict retention rates. You can even have certain models that can pick the best time to send a bonus to a user. So you have to be very diligent in when you send the bonuses, because you can't send too many, right? Because that would hurt the bottom line. But at the same time, you can't send too little because your competitors are sending out bonuses as well. So you have to pick the right times, and that might mean having to predict whether a user is going to play and bet the next day or not.
According to the player's profile.
Exactly.
So it's very interesting because it's a term that we hear very often. It's personalization. How does AI tailor for that player engagement and meaningful experience?
Yes, personalization is very important and something we really take for granted. If you open Netflix, you'll see all the shows and series that will likely interest you, right? Because it knows which shows you've watched, how long you've watched them, and if Netflix knew nothing about you, it would show you films from various categories, some that might not interest you, and that might make you say, you know what, I don't want to watch Netflix today, let's watch YouTube instead. And user experience can really improve when the app you're using actually knows what you like. It can recommend certain things that will, at the end of the day, lead to a better user experience and also more engagement, which helps the company.
So you would say that personalization is the key factor nowadays.
It's very, very important. Everyone is doing it. I remember when I was younger, the shopping ones were the first ones to do it, like eBay and Amazon. It's like every time you bought a pair of shoes, the next day you went into the website, you see the whole homepage filled with shoes. And obviously that was very primitive. Nowadays it has improved a lot, but
it's more
very,
subtle
very
nowadays.
Important. Exactly.
And in your consultancy work, what trends or AI solutions do you notice the most?
So I think this personalization thing has always been around to a certain degree, but nowadays, like you said, it's much better, and the results have improved quite a bit. One thing that we're really noticing, especially in the last couple of years, is the increased use of chatbots. Again, chatbots have, to a certain degree, always been around, but
what
nowadays...
are chatbots for the ones who don't know?
So chatbots are basically like when you have customer support, you can text them and you would have a human review a request, and this is obviously costly, right? Because you need someone to answer your request. So if you have any issues, a customer would have to look into it, and it's all manual work, it's all costly. And nowadays with chatbots, it's with AI who can kind of respond to your queries in real time. It's much easier, and the responses still look very, very good. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to tell whether you're speaking to a chatbot, to an AI, or to an actual human,
And for companies just starting their AI journey, because you work in consultancy, what would be the process from the first consultation to deployment?
Yeah, so the first step is understand what the user actually wants to achieve. What problems are they actually trying to solve? And this goes before the step of asking, is AI the right thing to do or not? Because there could be some solutions that might not even need AI. It might even be cheaper for the company in question. So that is kind of the first step. And once we have a clear idea of what the user actually wants, we then start to see whether we need anything. For example, if we're looking for an AI solution, perhaps we might need some data to get better results. And if the iGaming company in question has years of experience and they've been operating for a number of years or sometimes even decades, they might be able to provide this data, which ultimately would lead to better results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you touched on an important point, the traditional way versus AI. So in which cases exactly would an iGaming maybe not necessarily require AI?
Yep. So that's a very good question. It's a very important point. So I think it will kind of depend on what they want. I guess some examples would be, if someone just wants some very simple data analysis where they're happy with having a nice dashboard, just something very simple that they want to see for themselves, nothing too crazy. Traditional software might do just as well as an AI. With AI, you obviously have the added advantage that you can very easily add on to it. And if you want something a bit more complex, it's a lot easier to add on. And as AI gets better, your analysis will also get better. Whereas with traditional software, it's a bit more limited.
AI will get better.
For sure.
Actually, as a company, what is your vision looking ahead for AI? Also, I would like to know how fast is it evolving? Because I don't think people realize how fast this landscape is evolving. How do you see yourself in that transformation?
It's evolving very, very quickly. I think if we had to use the original ChatGPT that came out a couple of years ago and try it nowadays, we would be very, very disappointed.
Completely different,
It would be completely
right?
different. We don't even know this. So yeah, it's evolving very, very rapidly. And I think one thing that I'm noticing is that certain companies who perhaps started on this AI journey a couple of years ago might be a bit more hesitant to upgrade, because they say, we have an AI model, it sort of works. I'm aware of some companies using AI models from 10 to 15 years ago, where AI was still very, very primitive compared to nowadays, right? So there's a lot of room for companies to outcompete each other as well at the end of the day. And yeah.
So what would you say to these companies who are using the 15-year-old AI solutions that are maybe not so much solutions anymore to switch to the current AI solutions?
Yeah, I think there's a very popular quote going around that AI will not take your job, but
Do you really believe that?
who use AI might take your job. I can't predict the future, so I won't make any predictions. But at least right now, I do agree with it currently.
But in an industry like iGaming, it cannot take the job of another person because we're looking at data gathering.
Yeah. So in the case of iGaming, if I had to apply it to iGaming, it would be obviously if your competitors are using AI to increase user engagement and really get a much better return on investment, they will eventually outcompete you. So it's important that you stay up to date and be aware of what's happening at least.
So it's all about how you use it.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Kurt, for your valuable insights.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
That brings us to the end of today's episode on the AI and the future of the iGaming industry. Thanks for tuning in and being part of the conversation. If you're a company looking to showcase your expertise and highlight how you are innovating in your field, this podcast offers a great platform to do just that. Get in touch with us. We'd love to collaborate because we believe that big ideas start with simple conversations. See you next time.